Hello, welcome back. Welcome back to Yoga Shorts for Runners. We're back for our late summer, early autumn series going from September through to October. And this series, we're looking at ups and downs, so lots of some squat type movements. And we're also looking at side to sides. That's what we're going to explore for the running body this series. Now, I'm encouraging or offering a potential challenge for people. So I know some people kind of need that motivation. So one of the challenges is to get a skipping rope. This is as basic as you can get, and to um, either restart or continue the challenge of skipping. So you do your own thing. One suggestion from me is to try and get the skipping rope out every day. That might be too much, so you might decide that you do it just when you get back from work, or just do it before you leave for work, or it may be you're just going to do it at the weekend. So the skipping is your thing, yeah. So what you could be looking at is just the number of times a week you do it. You do it till you know you get all tied up in the rope, or you can do it where you set a number that you're going to do 20 this week and then increase it over the series. So you choose get skipping. So that's the idea of, it's a lighter movement, it's a bounce movement, it's a whole body movement. So skipping's really good. So if you can get back into that, that would be one option. For today, what I'm suggesting is you need a block or something that you can raise your heels on for the squat we do this week. And some of you might decide you don't need it at all, but it's better to have either a block or a rolled up blanket. Okay, but what we're going to do first is we're going to go into child pose and sitting back on our heels. And we're just going to see how that feels at the beginning of the session, and then we're going to compare it later down the line. So coming down into onto your knees. I'm suggesting for the first child's pose, we take the knees out wide and we bring the big toes together. And then we sit back, and then we take the hands forward. So it may be that your bum's really in the air, it may be that your bum rests really easy on your heels and there's weight through your bum. It may be you're somewhere in between that. So just for a moment, maybe move your fingers so you can feel your hand, get more connected with your hands on the ground, your forearms are on the ground, maybe, and your head's just down for a moment. So that's quite a theoretically resting position. But obviously, if you're struggling with screaming quads or tightness in the ankles, then this is going to be more challenging. Yeah, so just see how it is for now. Okay, and then bringing the hands forward towards the knees and just sitting back on the heel. So again, for some of you, this might be really, really difficult. It might be more of a challenge to sit back. It might be you have to come up really quickly. So it's often I say take the toes underneath. So if you need to do that, but otherwise I'm suggesting you just sit back on your heels. And again, just see how comfortable that is. It might not be good for the knees for very long, so you can come out of that fairly promptly. So we're just doing this as a kind of how does it feel at the beginning, how does it feel later on in the session. Okay, so that's all over for now. So this challenge of doing squats. So again, I'm just suggesting that you start. We're going to explore the squats anyway through this series, and there might be types of squats that you want to do for different reasons. So a lot of them are for strength, but you can also, a lot of it is about releasing through the pelvis, which gives more length through the lower back, and hopefully I'll work on that bit. Also, the release around the front of the legs, the quads. So we'll do something that we do a lot, which is kind of getting into whole body, but it's also working a little bit more with releasing the lower back and getting into a squat position without even thinking about that. So with the feet hip distance or slightly wider apart, then reaching the arms up and then bending the knees and letting the arms swing and bringing yourself back up. So you know this really well. So just find a kind of restful, easeful movement to start off with. And then once you've kind of seen how things are, how it feels in your ankles, how it feels in your knees, how it feels in your hips, how it feels in the backs of your calves, how it feels in your hamstrings and your quads, just getting a bit of feedback, depending on how much running you've been doing or other physical work or sedentary work. So if you're sitting down a lot, everything will kind of tighten up. Obviously, it's a warming thing we have to do. This is a warming exercise. And then, just as a reminder, just see what it feels like to push more from the feet. So in a way, this is the easy squat. So I'm squatting, yeah, as I go down. Cross between a squat and a kind of chair pose position. As I say, you want to find ease with the breath, ease with the movement, a kind of flow, kind of lightness, but a little bit more work from the floor upwards, from the feet. Okay. And let that just rest away. And ease off. So you feel what your contact is with the ground, how your breath is, how your shoulders are, how you feel in your whole body in terms of energy, wakefulness. Okay, so we're going to, the first squat this week is, I'm suggesting you have your heels raised. Now, some of you might need your heels raised always when you're doing a squat. Some of you might need it higher and then you can lower it down bit by bit. Some of you may never need anything under the heels at all, but I'm suggesting that we all do that this week, see how it feels. So even if you know you can do without, see how it feels with a little bit of support. It might feel even easier. It might feel more supportive, whatever. So using whatever you need to give you that rise for your heels. But with the block, it dictates how wide you're going to have your heels. So it's going to be hip distance. If it doesn't feel wide enough, then next time you need to just get a blanket or something a little bit wider for you. So it's just about hip for me, but for some of you might even be less than hip distance. So even once you've arrived and you've got your heels settling on the block or the support, just see how that feels. So just try and be mindful how the body is operating. And then lengthen the arms. And then come down to wherever you're going to come down to. So it might be a long way, might be all the way, it might be somewhere else. And then just bring the hands to the floor. Okay, so you're going to need to use the work of the legs. So these are strengthening exercises from this one. So you're going to push off from your heels and you can sweep the arms out to the side. So this time as we go down, we can sweep the arms down to the side and touch the ground, find the ground. Kind of give your weight. So again, we're lengthening and releasing as much as you can. So you might be here, that's fine. The knees can cope with that. And then pushing off through the legs. And again, out to the side. Coming down to wherever you come down. Arms out to the side. Going up with the arms out to the side this time. So coming up, pushing up, and then lengthening. And then like we did for the first one, keeping the arms up. Sitting down, then bringing the hands down to the floor. Then taking the arms up, and then pushing up. Arms to the side. Coming down. So if you've already had enough, you've had enough. So taking them slowly, which for some is going to be harder. Okay, arms out to the side. Push your way up and lengthen. So one more, which keeping the arms up, sitting down, arms down to the ground, arms up, push up from the legs. So my knees make a little bit of a noise, so don't be too disturbed by that. Okay, and step off the rise. So I know that I can manage squats without block, but I know I can manage deeper squats with the support. So I often use 1 or 2 blocks for that. Just put that to the side. Okay. So we're going to do a more straightforward, I'm laughing because for some it might not feel straightforward, squat, which is effectively sitting against the wall, really. So if you can find a wall, so if you need to go out the room to find a wall that you can sit back against safely. So it needs to be something that's not moving, so I am suggesting a wall. So you can sit against the wall, giving you a moment just in case you need to find a wall or a door that's you making sure it's not going to open on you. And then you're going to bring yourself back so that your bum's just off the floor, your back's on the wall, and you're giving the weight to release. So the lower back should feel like it's lengthening. It might still not be a kind of neutral back. There might be a little bit of a curve at the lower back. So it's like sitting underneath you a little bit. But sometimes what we can't, if we can't get low, we can't get this sense of release. So we cannot sometimes just because I'm falling down the back. I'm falling further down the wall here because I'm releasing more. So again, if you can cope with that, I mean, I have got my heels quite close to my butt, so there's not really a gap between my thighs, my hamstrings, and my calves really here. So I'm just giving it a moment. I'm trying my best to relax the shoulders. It's hard for the belly to relax, but it's again, the belly's and the rib cage is quite tightly against the thighs, but very close now from my bum touching the floor. So I'm going to just like that kind of happens quickly further away. Okay, so those are the 2 squats really for this week. Yeah, so there's the resting against the wall, and then there's which is more of a release with support. And we've done more of a strengthening ones, and you can do different things with your arms to make it easier or more difficult. So anyway, that's for this week in terms of the work with the squats. Now, what we were exploring partly also is we started with child's pose and just sitting back on your heels. So we're going to do that now and just see if what we've done with that movement, fast movement, and then squat and then skip against the wall, whether that's created any more space for us to sit back in child's pose. So some people it'll be exactly the same, and some people you might find, even if it's not easy, that it's a little bit more softer or more comfortable than it was. So coming down with the big toes touching and knees out to the side is my suggestion. If you need to find a different way of doing this to feel comfortable, please do. If it's hurting the knees, then come out of it. So I've got my forearms down and my hands down again, just wriggle the fingers so you can get more connected then with the hands for a moment. Let the head be on the ground. If you're too high up, you can stack your hands into kind of fists and put your head on that, so it's a bit higher if that feels more comfortable. And just noticing, can you breathe here? How's the lower back feel? And then from there, coming up and see how it is to sit back on the heels, and whether that's easier, more comfortable, a bit of slouching quite a bit there. It's not the end of the world. but I'm kind of quite enjoying the release down much more than I did before. So just because I feel it, I know it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to feel it, but just be aware that some of that movement is going to give you a little bit more option for those that are tighter. I'm really tight on the quads, so I've come a long way. Okay, so that's time for something a little different. So we're going to have a series of moves that effectively are a sun from sun salutation to heading more towards the ground from there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is we're just going to start with reminding ourselves about the basics of the start of the sun salutation. So I want, for me, I'm suggesting hips distance for feet. I'm going to bring my hands together and just have the fingers touching the front of the sternum and let the shoulders kind of naturally rest, which usually means the shoulder blades come together a little bit and a sense of the spine being long. And from here, I'm going to release the hands, lengthen them out to a side or in front of you. That's easier. And then folding forward, so remember bent knees. So again, if you go down, it's a bit more like a squat. So even if you don't need to bend your knees, please just do it this time. And then let the top body fold over the bottom body. So it means you're really into a squat effectively, most of us. And if you don't need to be into a squat, still come into a squat. Yeah, it's part of the practice this time. And then take your hands onto your thighs, lengthen through your legs as much as you're comfortable doing. It doesn't have to be full. And then just have a sense of that length through the whole of the spine with the hands just on the thighs. Okay, I'm just going to move forward so that I can step back. Got them from step back. So then go forward again, front body over top body over bottom body. Really bent knees. We're just going to take 1 foot back. And we're going to come down onto the knee. Yeah. So into a bit of a lunge. And we're going to just step forward again. So we're going to take the back knee off the ground, going to lightly push with the foot. Then get the feet back together, go down with the bottom in order to push from the feet again. These are the sort of things that the squat kind of movements are helping with. We extend up, bring the arms down and back to the chest. Just going to do the other side. Keeping it simple, relax the shoulders and the jaw and all those areas that kind of are overworking. Okay, you can do a little bit of a bend of the knees as we sweep the arms up. Forward, top body over bottom body. Really relax the top body if you can over the bottom body and really let the bum go down so you really got your chest on the thighs, got the head heavy. Okay, hands onto the thighs for a moment, extend through the back. So it feels like you're rising up through the chest. Fold forward again, fingertips down. Just take second step back, second side, knee down, just keeping the fingers there for a moment. Okay, knee up, push gently off, back leg joins front leg, bum goes down into a squat. Push off from that squat, reach through the arms, bring the arms back down and into prayer. Okay, so this time we'll step back, but we'll take the knee off the floor into, again, high lunge really, high lunge with the knee off the ground. So slightly bend the knees, extend up, and then float the arms down. Top body over bottom body, really get the bum low, let the head be heavy. Hands to the thighs, extend through the spine, belly goes in slightly, extend through the rib cage sternum area, back of the neck long, fold forward, first side, extend back, don't go onto the knee, just extend back, stay up this time. Okay. And then see if, right, option here, so you can go back onto your knee and come up and take the arms up. Or you can take the top leg, knee off the floor as I suggested, and then build your way up. So you take your hands to your thigh, And then you push off that front leg slightly as you extend up. So that's much stronger, but you can do with the knee on the ground. And breathe and soften the shoulders, soften the jaw, soften the hands. Well done. Back hands onto thigh, hands onto floor. Bend the back knee, push up with the back foot. Bottom down, push through, extend up, and then bring the hands back together in prayer for a pause. So you feel on that side of the body. So you might feel different around the hip and pelvis on one side. Might feel different strength, might feel different connections to the ground. Okay, second side, so release, extend, fold forward, really keeping the bum low. Hands onto thighs, lengthen through the back. Fold forward again, second side, step back. Your choice whether you go down with the back knee or whether you stay within in a high lunge. You want your knee over your ankle of the front foot. Hands release one at a time or both together. And then push through that front foot so you rise a little bit more as you take the arms up. And you then soften the shoulders, soften the jaw, soften the eyes, soften the fingers and the hands. And you breathe. And then hands back to thighs, hands back to the ground, bend the back knee, step forward, bum down into squat, push off using the strength in your legs, lengthen up, and hands back to center. Okay, so we're going to go back and do both sides. We're going to go into a twist. So we will have the knee down again. Back knee down won't be a high lunge. So you ready? Release, extend the arms. Fold forward. Step back with your favorite leg. Come down onto your knee. Release both hands onto your thigh. Bring the hands together in prayer. So I've got my left leg forward. I'm going to take my right elbow over that leg, bringing the hands together in prayer mode so I get into a twist. So just try without forcing anything. So there's a gentle connection of the hand. It's not forced, just to see whether you can evolve any further. So the belly comes round to the front of the inner thigh. Need to be able to breathe. Okay, great. And release. Both fingers, thumbs down to the ground. Knee lifts. And step forward, bum down, all the way up. And rest. Okay, second side. So release, lengthen, fold, extend, fold. Go back for the second leg, knee comes to the ground. Release the hands onto the thigh, opposite elbow to opposite knee, hands on hands, and see whether you can, through a little bit of a squeeze through the whole of the belly, side belly, and lower back, just bringing that support. It's not, it's not a tight corset. It is a little bit of a core support though for the lower back as you rotate. Great, and you breathe. So from here, gently release that elbow, fingers to the ground or hands. Lift that back knee, bend the knee, push off, bum down, extend all the way up. Hands back to prayer. Hey. So we've done a little bit side to side, but not that much. So we're going to do a little bit side to side. And we're going to do that from the floor. We're going to do that on hands and knees, and then we're going to do it in downward dog. So finding your way back down, hands and knees. And just bring the knees together, heels together, and let the bum drift. So we're releasing, so we're trying to do some release for the lower back, directly and indirectly. And now just tight muscles down the abductors, IT band outside of the leg, into the hip, into the side body. They're often really tight, yeah, and there are areas that can catch us out. So just giving a little bit of gentle opportunity to reach and lengthen is nice. So from there, what we're going to do is going to bring the knees more into hip distance apart. We're going to tuck the toes under, take the hands forward because we're going to head up into downward dog. So my suggestion is just pick the knees off the floor a couple of times, down, off and down. So again, these are leg strengthened and they're not that different positioning to start off with than what we would have in a squat. Yeah, obviously we're in a different positioning in relation to the ground. Okay, so we're going up and we can lengthen one leg maybe and then lengthen the other. So we're getting a little bit more checking out what's happening in particularly the back of the calves. Some of us won't feel anything because our calves aren't tight. Lucky people, but for the rest of the human race, running a race anyway, there might be a little bit of tightness there or in the ankle or on the toes. Okay, so let's come down for a moment again onto your knees. Probably to take a break. Okay, so we're going to go back up and then we're going to take the bum side to side when we get up there. So what we can do once we get up, if you prefer to have the legs together, you can do that. If you prefer to keep them hip distance apart, you can do that. So sometimes together it feels more cohesive, but it can feel a little bit more unbalanced if you're tipping over. So just see what works for you. Okay, so knees off the ground and then bum in the air, pushing back, and then just see how it goes. So you can let the heels drift side to side. It's quite nice. You can have your knees bent a little bit, so it's not like you're having to keep straight legs. And you can keep readjusting side to side, side to side, side to side. Next time you're back in the middle, then let's come down onto our knees. So we're going to have another sit down. So if you can untuck your toes and sit back on your heels and see how that is. So again, for me, this is easier. Now, it doesn't mean for me there isn't any feeling in the quads. There is a little bit, but not a lot. It's kind of like I could sit here for quite a while. And actually, sometimes I do get tightness in my knees, but that's beginning to feel more comfortable. So it's, you know, it's partly getting the fluids going through your joints from the movements we've been doing. It's partly from just getting a little bit more generally movement in areas that maybe we haven't done for a little while. That's making it easier. Same with the ankles. It's a little bit easier for me to release after what we've just done than what we did before. So just taking the knees out to the side with the big toes touching, bum heads towards the heels maybe, and come down as we did before, maybe with the head on the ground, maybe with it supported on double hands that are in a fist, just maybe just finding your own way. I've got forearms down so it's a bit more restful. So how's this for you? So you may not remember how it was at the beginning now. You might have all got kind of lost in your body memory.
but it may be different. So we're looking always for ways to find the body in a more easeful state, yeah, from tension, tightness, overwork, imbalances, seeking to recover and heal wherever we can. Sometimes that's really subtle, and we're working, usually to some extent, even in these shorter sessions, we're working the whole body. So it's the whole body that helps out on this. It's not just doing one thing. So when you're ready, just using the hands to get yourself back up. So we're going to finish there. We're not going to go into lying down. There, we're finishing there. And just to remind you, maybe try a few of the squats. So you might just do the moving ones that get you into squat. You may do some Sunya salutation, just the beginning parts of it that get you into a squat. You might want to try the one sitting against the wall. You might want to try the one with the heels raised. I'm giving you so much options that you're going to be completely confused. So if you're not sure, just the one you remember, and see if you can do it at least once in the week before we come back, maybe. So maybe choose something this week that's easier and accessible, and then over the weeks, maybe choose the things that are getting a little bit more challenging. Okay, thank you, and I appreciate your return. Okay, see you again.